We all know how the Bible tells us in Mark chapter 12, verse 31, that we should love our neighbors as ourselves. How the Bible tells us in Mark chapter 12, verse 30, that verse 30 is that we should love God with our hearts, our souls, our minds, and 31, we should love our neighbors as ourselves. But here's the problem. Some of us don't know how to love ourselves, which is why we don't even love others too. I mean, at the end of the day, the truth is that you cannot give what you do not have. That's the truth. And the Bible further tells us that we should love each other. Yeah, if you go to John, if you go to John chapter 15, it tells us how we're supposed to love each other as God has loved us, as Christ has loved us. But now here's the problem. We actually don't know how to love ourselves, which is why I'm introducing you guys to my new series, which is called Love Yourselves as Christ Loves You. So it's Easter Sunday. So happy Easter to you all. And I think I love the fact that it is Easter season for this series to start. This series that's going to span on throughout the month of April, basically, because of the fact that Easter is just a season to think about the death of Christ, the sacrifice that Christ did for us on the cross of Calvary, right? Dying for us. That was an ultimate sacrifice of love. And when we think about it, the fact that Christ loves us so much, we don't actually think about how, with that kind of love, we should also love ourselves too. We should actually love ourselves the way Christ has loved us, because the Bible would not have told us love our neighbors as ourselves if and told us as Christ has loved us, if it's not possible to love ourselves too. Is we have to give that love to ourselves. So first of all, I would like to talk about how Christ paid an ultimate sacrifice by dying on the cross of Calvary, right? Why is it that most of us can't even do simple sacrifices for ourselves, but we are sacrificing everything for other people? Make it make sense. Now, am I saying that you shouldn't sacrifice for people? No, that is love. Sacrifice for other people, yes. But when you cannot even sacrifice for yourself, you can't even give yourself that little act of self-love. Because being able to sacrifice for yourself, it's helping yourself at the end of the day. It's not easy. It's not easy. What I mean by that is, like, I don't necessarily mean, oh, you have to, like, because the Bible teaches us that we should actually esteem others more than ourselves. We should think about others too. What I'm saying is that you should actually think about yourself too. Sometimes you should wake up and say, okay, I want to do this for me. Like, I want to be able to, okay, let's say, for example, you say you're going to study, right? You're doing yourself more harm by postponing that you studying. You're not showing yourself love. You might think that, okay, I'm going to choose to rest. I'm going to choose to lie down, to scroll. That's going to help me be in your comfort zone. That your comfort zone is actually killing you. It's killing you slowly. You're actually doing more harm to yourself, more hate to yourself. Because if Jesus Christ was like, oh, okay, I love you guys, but like, I don't want to really do all these things. I just want to, like, oh, maybe just be a preacher. Like, I don't want to reach the extent of, like, being overzealous that are going to kill me. I don't want to reach that extent. I don't want to reach that state. Like, we won't have the freedom we have today. Basically, to show that you love yourself, you should actually be able to sacrifice for yourself. That sacrifice means telling yourself that, okay, I'm going to do this right now rather than later, because I rather do this now than postpone this till like a deadline or something. It shows that, okay, you want to give yourself peace, you want to give yourself patience, you want to give yourself like happiness. I mean, doing all these things for yourself, when you are doing it, it seems so stressful, it seems so tiring, it seems so just uncomfortable. But like we said, if you stay in your comfort zone, you will die in your comfort zone. The comfort zone kills. You have to be ready to step out of it, to be able to do things for yourself. And it's so funny how when it comes to other people who are so ready to say, sometimes, not even sometimes, you're so ready to say, oh, okay, I'll help you to do this. Oh, okay, I'll help you to do that. Oh, let me say, for example, now you want to study. I'm still using the scenario of studying, and someone comes up to you, is like, oh, please teach me this thing, I don't understand it. And you yourself, you know that, oh, you've not even had time for yourself to actually study like other things, and you're telling the person, oh, okay, I'm going to help you do this, do that. But then you know that you're cutting time off for yourself, because you know that you too, you need to actually gain this thing, right? I mean, it's okay to actually tell people that, no, I have to do this first, then when I'm done with this, then I'll get back to you. It's okay, because like, you can only give what you have. You cannot give what you do not have. That is the problem with society today. That is why you see so many people are angry. So many people are giving back the energy. So many people are being so mean to each other, showing rudeness, because that is what is in them. That is what they give themselves. That is what they have received so much in life. That is what that's the only thing they know how to give, from background, from home, from friendships, from that is the only thing they have. That is the only thing they've been able to give, which is so wrong. We need to learn to look at the sacrifice of Christ. We look at the sacrifice of, oh, how he was so patient, because a lot of the time we look at Christ's sacrifice and we think of, how am I going to give this sacrifice back to others? We think of, how am I going to give this, help use this, the way that Christ died, his love that he showed us, how am I going to show it to others? We never think of, how am I going to show it to myself? How am I going to give this to myself too? You have to be ready. You and some people, it's strange, it's rare, it's not common, because you're so used to whatever it is you have been receiving. You're so used to whatever it is that you have been given throughout in life. You're so used to whatever it is you have given yourself, that now it's time for you to actually look onto Christ and be like, okay, Christ did this for me, I should also do it for me too. So even though we are going to do it for others too, yes, but you should also do it for you too. And so it's like, it's rare, it's uncommon. You're doing it for yourself and it's uncomfortable, but you need it to grow. You need to be able to sacrifice for yourself. You need to be able to give to yourself. You need to be able to put yourself in some situations, put yourself first. Because the truth is that people out there, they expect, when they say that, okay, you're someone that gives, they will always want to come and collect. And you can only, and it gets to a point where they collect so much, they keep collecting, that you're left with nothing. It's like a cup. Imagine you have a cup filled with wine, right? And that wine is just filled with wine. And people, you just keep pouring out of that cup. People just keep coming to take. At the end of the day, and you yourself, you're the cup. You don't keep pouring back into that cup. People just keep taking. At the end of the day, you're left drained. There's nothing in that cup anymore. There's nothing to give anymore. Because why? You as the cup, you've not been able to pour back into yourself. It's a different scenario if, like, oh, you're pouring, people are collecting from you, you're pouring to others, and you're also being refilled too, than for you to just be there. You're not refilled, you're not being filled in any single way, you're not being filled at all. Do you understand this? So the essence of today's video, the point is just that you should actually be able to be ready to receive love. This is just preparing you guys' mind for the series that's coming along. Ready to receive, ready to give yourself the things that you try so hard to give others to. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. See you guys next week. Happy Easter once again. Bye bye.